Onomatopoeia, episode 14. Got a typical cast with one new member. Let's start over there.
Hi, I'm Nick.
Hi, I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Leif.
I'm Evan. And together we are...
Onomatopoeia!
That worked better than I thought it was going to.
That was way cooler. I didn't think that was going to work well, but that did. Let's see. Do we, I want to start with, Adam West.
Yeah.
He's a poignant member to the Comic Society because, I mean, he was, in all honesty, there's not many people that can't say that's where they got their start with Batman. Yeah. I just feel like we always knew about it. Like
those are the generations ahead of us that kind of started the concept with that. But yeah, I mean, he's like your Batman's Batman.
The thing exactly that I think what upset me the most about it. I mean, I understand. He was 88.
Yeah,
that's
a good long life.
But he was still active. Like the last. I mean,
he had leukemia. It was a very aggressive form of leukemia. He had been battling it, I think, for. How long was it? I'm not totally sure.
I didn't even realize that much. So
yeah.
But it's just a fact. But just a real quick thing. I'd like to. I don't want to dwell too much on it, the negativity of it. But can anyone tell me like your favorite or your first memory of Adam West? Because I mean, he always has resonated with me, Nick.
Well, I got two things. First thing was I remember I had this videotape from years ago.
Was it a VHS or beta?
It was a VHS. Wayne never dealt with beta. We watched this thing, and it was just Batman and Burt Ward going to like conventions and stuff. It was kind of like a making of. It was called Batmania, is what it was called.
I have that same VHS tape.
That's the one. It was called Batmania, and I remember Adam West would always do silly stuff at these. I remember he was in the costume and he was talking about in his utility belt, he's like, oh, I have batarangs, my bat rope, I have my bat phone, and he just made up stuff too. He's like, I also have a bat sandwich that Alfred packed for me. Like, and he'd do all kinds of funny stuff like that, and he understood how ridiculous it was, and he played it really campy. He didn't try to take it too serious like a lot of people do nowadays. Now, I like my Batman dark and broody, but as far as that goes, it was a lot of fun.
I think that's one thing that Jeff Johns is always striving for that he doesn't always get, but he wants fun. Even though the Dark Knight is dark, there's got to be that element of fun.
The other thing that's really not that doesn't get a lot of praise with him, he was one hell of a voice actor. I mean, back in the day before voice acting was a big thing, you had your Frank Welkers and your.
What would be some work? Because I don't know stuff prior to Family Guy, to tell you the truth.
Well, he did. There's a Batman animated show. I think it was like the New Adventures of Batman in like '77.
Oh, with the Scooby-Doo one. I have that
Justice
one.
Friends and
excuse me. He was on the new Scooby-Doo movies. They did the Batman and Robin cameos. It was Adam West.
There was actually a show too. In '77 called The New Adventures of Batman. It had Batman, Robin, and the other main character was your favorite, Batmite.
No way.
Yeah,
he was on television?
Real. Oh, yeah.
And it was Adam West and Burt Ward, like Evan said. And Burt Ward is he's a terrible voice actor. Like, he just sounds so, he is so wooden. Oh my gosh, Batman, what are we going to do? But Adam West sounded so natural and so good at it. And this is back in the Scooby-Doo days when all voice acting was terrible.
Late 70s?
Yeah, so he was very good at that, and that kind of shows his skill as an actor, that he could do pretty much anything. And so it's really, and I did enjoy him on Family Guy. I thought he was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was one of the more enjoyable things.
I don't want to sound like another thing about him is well, I guess we'll keep it going. Justin, you have anything about?
To be honest with you, the first time I had ever seen Adam West as Batman, I was at my grandparents and they had TV Land on. And it was just so happened that
when they used to show it.
It was a Batman episode where he was hallucinating and doing like this 60 dance. And
the Batusi.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, around that time I had like Michael Keaton and
so you already had some bats under your
I've
belt.
already had, and I think like Batman and Robin was just coming out. So as a kid, it really didn't,
you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Like, the hell kind of Batman's that? So
That's
honestly,
fun.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of stories besides, unfortunately, that.
What would you say?
Well, I guess I would say it's mainly on the TV show that he did of Batman. I mean, that was one of my first memories, in fact. Here I'm just a little kid. I'm not even 1 year old yet, and my parents, I don't know for what reason, started me off literally from hour one on a steady diet of nothing but Batman and Spider-Man.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a healthy diet.
That's good parenting.
I like that.
Good.
And so here I am, early memory. I think I'm 4 days old, watching Batman TV series. All I can truly remember is Batman and Robin driving around in that car of theirs.
Also, can we? I always think about the fucking movie with John Lovitz.
There's plenty of them. Which one are we talking about?
He's in a lot of movies.
I
Yeah.
can't
With
remember
Billy
the
Crystal.
fucking
Rat
name.
Race. It was
Bench
Rat
warmers.
Race.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's got the.
Oh no! John Lovitz drove Hitler's car in Rat Race, not
Yeah.
Batman's car.
Very close. Very
Oh,
close.
that's such a
But I
great
just always remember
movie.
where he's like, I have not perfected the peel out.
Oh my god.
I love
Make
John
sure you
Lovitz.
keep it under 1 million. That's all I have. On me.
I can talk about John
He just starts
Lovitz
laughing.
all day long.
Speaking
is
of
not a John
Lovitz
Lovitz
and-
podcast.
and dead celebrities. When they did
Hey,
the,
John Lovitz is not dead.
that's the joke.
He was in Shandy Wexler too.
the big anniversary Saturday Night Live they did it in memoriam, and at the very end they said in love and memory of John Lovitz, and he's sitting in the audience.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's so funny.
He was like, he just looked
That's
and was like,
amazing.
what?
I'm gonna have to just download that. Just watch that one facial feature. You got any fun memories?
There's a couple. I remember the movie. I had it on VHS tape. The classic.
The shark repellent.
Yeah, the bat shark repellent. And my favorite scene from that movie is I tried to recreate it. I've probably forgotten it at this point, but it's whenever they're finding out who is behind the shark, and they're just like, "C for Catwoman," and the shark was pulling my leg, the Joker.
Oh, that is so
And then
good.
they figure out who all the villains are by very awful word association.
What weighs 2 ounces and is deadly? Sparrow with a machine gun. Precisely, Robin.
Precisely.
The only possible answer. They knew how crazy it was back then.
No, the writers for
Yeah.
the movie and the writers for the show knew what they were doing. Like, and I have a lot of memories of one summer. One of my first summers alone at home. You know, mom and dad are working, and I'm at home alone. Nickelodeon had just Batman Summer, and they played replays of the old show.
Oh,
and so
cool.
I got to catch up on the episodes, which I had never seen any of before. I'd only ever seen the movie, and so one summer as my childhood, I got to catch up on all the Adam West Batman.
Yeah,
If you-
I saw that too. It was basically the entire show from beginning to end, every single episode in order, and then at the end they showed the movie.
Yeah.
That's such a.
If you guys get a chance to, if you have the DVD or the Blu-ray of it, I have the high quality definition Blu-ray of it. The commentary on it is just golden.
Wait,
It's
who else on
Adam
it?
West and Burt Ward.
Is it Burt? Okay.
Oh.
It's Adam
I
West and
actually
Burt.
really like Burt Ward because
It's
he's so
good.
goofy. Every time you watch him, he's.
He's just a friendly little man. That's all he is.
Oh, and I got to ride in a not to the actual, but I got to ride in the sidecar, Robin's sidecar, and a replica of the Bat bike.
Oh, awesome!
He was somewhere in Texas. I was like,
Damn.
it was really cool.
I think about Adam West, obviously the Batman and stuff, but yeah, I just think that if you're in that community, the amount of work he put in towards being part of the community was always like beyond anyone else. Like Nick has always stated, like earlier in the podcast, like he knew what he was doing. Like he got he gets the joke. And I think that's why it was always portrayed. But one of the most poignant things that I learned was not necessarily from... Well, I mean, it was the whole Batman show in general, because I remember watching the movie as a kid and that fucking Batmania thing that Nick was just talking about prior, which I need to go back and watch, but
It's worth it. It's good.
the side angles on villains and the way that when you deliver a line, everyone always makes jokes about Kirk, but the way Adam delivered it is there was actually sometimes like emotion. Even though it was campy, he still could emote through it.
Yeah.
He could portray whatever he needed.
That's it. As much fun as you can make of that old Batman series, Adam West is a legitimately good actor.
And I think that's what carries that versus Kirk just being a handsome guy that was giving lines.
Ooh, yeah.
I look at it. Starting up with the sarcasm.
I heard handsome guy and I started paying attention. Adam West used to do this thing too that would always drive me crazy, where a lot of Batmen, they'll kind of tuck their cape in and just have it where their costume isn't showing. He would take the tip of his cape, like maybe like an inch of it, and just swirl it around in his hand like this while he was talking. He does.
He does do that. That's really funny.
It makes me laugh
I've
so
never
much.
thought about that ever in my life, but that's very humorous because he does. Because he'll do it when he's like his brooding is just like
he's
like.
He is a lot like Kirk. Now that you mention it, I didn't even think of that. He does kind of have that separated delivery when he talks. Yeah, that's exactly
That's what
right.
people apparently thought was serious back then.
And so they're like, I just think of that and him waving that little thing around. This obviously is a play by the Joker, but we'll just go with it. See what he says. They did that in the movie with Penguin when he was dressed up as Commodore Schmidlap, and it was obviously the Penguin. He's like, "Hello, Batman. It's me, Commodore Schmidlap." He turns to Robin and says, "This obviously is the Penguin. Why is he trying to do this? But let's go take him back to the Batcave and just see what he's up to." And that movie is just so dumb and
No.
And of course we got the classic
By
fire
dumb, I mean I
poles.
love it.
That gave us the superhero changing on the fire pole on the way down.
Oh, that is good.
Lift up the bust and you press the button and then
That is, I guess that was
the door opens up and they slide down the fire
what a
poles.
classic piece
The
of.
William Shakespeare bust with the
Is it William Shakespeare?
Yeah. Speaking of that movie again, I'm sorry. This is going to just be Batman movie podcast now. Do you remember the part in that where what is it? The one where he's running around with the bomb over his head.
Yeah.
They have the band and stuff. When you guys saw The Dark Knight Rises, did you guys stand up in the theater too and yell, "Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb"? I like the end because I did.
No, Nick. Because you were too fucking cult at the time. That's the most I was not even thinking that. I was too absorbed, but that's really.
did.
I mean, the fact that you did that is even
I stood
cooler.
up and I yelled it in
That's
the
the most
theater.
cult fucking thing you can do.
It made me
It
happy.
would have been so great to see a really serious Christian Bale flying the nuke, and then he looks at he's about to drop it, and then he looks down and sees a bunch of nuns,
Like
and then
ducks.
he hits the gas.
And then Sousa
Okay, so that was one thing. I was thinking about just the Dark Knight trilogy the other day. I wish they would have made. I mean, as serious as they are, I wish they would have made it more head nods to what had come previously.
Yeah.
I feel like having a little more emotion like that, a little more fancy free, would have been nice.
We're all about gritty realism nowadays.
So,
It's our generation. It's what we want.
but all right, we talked for Adam West. We got a lot of books to talk about, but the last thing I want to talk about before
First.
we move on.
The last thing I want to talk about.
Well, I mean, before we start into
The last things first.
Last things first. I gotta talk about the T'Challa. Okay, Black Panther. I keep calling it the
Black Panther.
T'Challa fucking trailer. We need to talk about the Black Panther trailer.
Yeah, that came out 2 days ago. As
For
of
the
this
NBA
podcast? Yeah.
finals.
Yep.
As a Black Panther fan, Thor is my go-to. So watching Ragnarok was just so good, and I was so excited. But how well done they did this Black Panther trailer! I could just talk about this all night. I'm a big fan of Creed, which I've already stated on this podcast multiple times, and the fact that same director, and they got Michael B. Jordan playing Killmonger, which I think Nick, don't even talk about the hair yet. I can see it.
Just wink at me when you're ready.
Okay. I think it's great, but they in the trailer. So we've got why I think this movie is gonna register with me more than anything is this is not a movie for. I don't want to sound like a dick, but for you. This is not a movie.
For black people.
No, not well. Yes.
I was kidding. I didn't mean that.
But no, this is not a movie for people that are gonna want to go see a Marvel movie.
Yeah, this is
Went to go see Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and
Galaxy of the
then
Guardians.
Galaxy of the Guardians.
But no, like even like for
But-
instance,
Dark
Doctor
Old Guardians.
Strange should have been like this weird abstract movie, but to tell you the truth, it was the most basic origin story.
Yes,
ever.
mainstream origin
This
story.
is
Very
you know
rushed.
What we got our origin for Black Panther, like T'Challa, everything was annihilated in Civil War because you saw T'Chaka killed. That was his origin. You saw him mount the Panther and like become what he needs to be.
Mounted the Panther.
Yeah, he becomes the next stage.
Puts on a ring.
He's getting that pussy.
If you ruined this for me, Evan, don't. No. It's just the fact that like in the trailer you see Shuri, his sister, like there, and like the Dora Milaje. Like you're seeing all these elements of Wakanda like culture. Like if you're a super nerd into like the Black Panther sort of stuff, like everything was in the trailer. Like
lot of
Wanda,
things, yeah.
his stepmother. Like you're seeing so much.
Is that who is it? Felicia Rashad playing her?
Felicia Rashad.
Felicia.
I haven't looked at the
Ahmad
cast list,
Rashad's
so I don't
wife,
actually
so-
know. All I know is
Dr. Cosby's wife. Speaking of which, can we come back with deliberation for that yet? I need to know.
I don't think so.
It's the Bill Cosby
I'm
podcast.
just the only question I have about that movie is, are they going to go with the crashed alien ship storyline, or did they just find vibranium and we're just cool enough to know how to use it? Like,
Well, like they said, the culture's been around for so long, so I think they're going to go with that. They've been able to build their culture around crash vibranium. That's what I'm assuming.
that makes the most sense.
But
It doesn't make any sense if they just had access to a resource and were suddenly had flying cars with the Jetsons. Like that doesn't make sense.
The thing is they kind of covered this in Civil War already. They did kind of, if you go back and watch the Civil War on DVD or VHS or Blu-ray, whatever you have.
Probably not gonna watch it on VHS.
I just say whatever you have, but I doubt they have it in VHS. But anyway, they already kind of covered where the vibranium comes from in that a little bit. And
yeah, they drop hints.
yeah, they drop hints, but it's more sounding like it comes from like a meteorite that crashed there.
Now, another thing I thought was really interesting about the trailer is that like the opening shot has got Serkis as Claw, and then Martin Freeman, what's his character?
Why did you just say circus?
Serkis.
Is it circus? I thought it was Andy Circus.
I don't know.
No, he's a robot, Andy Circuits.
Nick's right, so we're gonna end this right there. Yep.
Andy Circus.
No, there's an actual character he's playing.
Now, tell me this. This is where I don't have information. Is Martin Freeman? Is he the character he's portraying that he did in Civil War? Is that a comic book
Yes,
character?
that's a real character. He's like I'm not sure what his name is, but he's like a liaison between Wakanda and I think like the League of Nations or maybe like SHIELD or something
so he has ties
in
to
the comics.
But no, this is a fact. I mean, and then also on top of that, they use, I've already mentioned on the podcast, my love for LP, so using an RTJ tune on that, and just everything about that trailer resonated, I felt strongly, and I feel like I think it's finally the moment where Marvel alienates their crowd. Where you're like, okay, I don't know what's happening, and I know that's like shitty, but for a comic book fan, if you're really into it, I'm very excited because that means I don't have to fucking watch your goddamn origin. I know your goddamn origin.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be so excited because this leaves them two options. They're either going to stick to the background and honor the source material and do what you're talking about,
It looks like it
or
better.
they're going to have the content but dumb it down with bad writing and bad acting.
No,
So that
they won't do that.
So
They
people,
won't do that.
So the regular
It's cool, they're not
audience
gonna
can
do
watch
that.
it. That's
Nope.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be number one in that. But the thing is, with this movie, it looks like they're just, since they already covered the origin, it's just that they're going to probably just try to cover as much of his storyline as they can to catch him up to the modern version.
The main MCU.
Kind of like what they did with Captain America, the first Captain America. They went back to World War II with that.
And
And then at the end he was in
and
modern
worked.
time.
And
Yeah.
worked.
Those period pieces are awesome.
These
I
guys
love
have
them.
both talked about their love for Cap. One thing that I've read that Feige talked about, and one last thing before we jump to the books. But Foggy had mentioned that Black Panther leads directly into Avengers.
To what?
Infinity War.
Oh,
Okay.
Like,
nice.
So everything that builds in Black Panther is the tie into Infinity War. So I don't know what it is, but I'm anxious to see what it is.
What gem haven't we seen yet? Life?
We've got. Let's run them. What we got?
Power.
The time gem was part of the.
All right, let's talk about. Okay, Tesseract is the
Space
power.
gem.
Oh, space. Yeah, space.
Tesseract is space gem.
Doctor
the
Strange is
Aether
time.
is supposed to be reality. Eye of Agamotto is time, and the orb is power. So we have yet to see Soul. Oh wait, no. Excuse me. We have another one too. The Mind Gem is Loki's scepter.
And
Yeah.
Vision's head now.
Yeah. So we have yet
Soul.
Soul. I think is the only one we
So
haven't seen.
that'll be in Wakanda.
Yeah, he'll get it when he goes to become King of the Dead, which is how the movie should end.
Okay. Yep. Marvel, if you're listening. Evan every week has suggestions that work well. I'd like to see you in like a room with like Ed Brubaker and like Matt Fraction like explaining like
Telling them what to do.
like,
This is the Soul Gem. This is the Time Gem.
this is the life gem.
Quick,
Make a new one.
quick question: does the Black Panther see himself as someone who can be governed, like the Sokovia Accord would affect him?
No.
Okay.
That's the point about T'Challa is
We are
like,
outside the conflicts of men.
Yeah.
Just something like that, you know.
Because Thor really can't be governed either.
no. That's why they took him out of Civil War.
So you're
There's
gonna
no
wonder
possibility.
whenever they come back, when Thor and Black Panther kind of reunite with their friends, who are they gonna side with? Because it's just
Well, the way they're gonna side is there's Thanos and we all have to fight him. Like,
yeah.
But who's gonna die? And it can't be Chris Evans because he just signed on for Infinity War contracts, which is something we should talk about.
That's some, yeah.
He's on to like 2022 or something now. Like
Is it really that far?
yeah, this is after like 2 years ago saying I'm never gonna act again. I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna go to directing maybe, and now it's just with Marvel forever.
Yeah, but also when you're making
Yeah. The money's hard to argue
I
with.
still think they should have ballsed him and kill off either him or Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War.
I think both of them should be gone by now.
Well, yeah, you know.
Robert wants to do another Iron Man's.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, see,
hopefully it'll be a little bit better.
those were two characters that I was expecting to see die in Infinity War.
But apparently not.
It'll
All
probably
right.
be Spider-Man.
Someone who is just added into the latest
We've
movie.
got a lot of books to
Oh, yeah.
talk about. Do you want to? Let's see. Let's just jump into not the big two because Evan Brixey and I can do fast forwards.
We'll
of these.
do.
Let's start with. Can we start with Little Preacher?
Let's start with Little Preacher.
Evan, like a couple hours ago, called me and he asked me to read the list off that I had, and he's like, "Hey, you got to check out this book, A Little Preacher."
Now, is this like Preacher continuity? Like
No,
okay,
just
not at all.
Okay, all right.
Now this is the art's very indie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's the new watercolor style, like simplistic.
It looks like early Jeff Lemire sort of work, and but I gotta say, what a fucking heart wrencher.
Mm-hmm.
That was a crushing. It was the straight 22 pages too. I mean, it wasn't like a lot of indie books can kind of extend out, but this is like
regular sized issue.
Explain to me, what is this about? As somebody that doesn't do the indies.
It's 20 pages of a kid dreaming.
Okay.
and
It's literally just childhood insecurities revolving around religion.
Okay.
He's having a dream that he's talking to God, and God is a dude in suspenders with a chicken head.
As we all think, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was so guttural. I mean, everything like when he pitches it that way, it does sound crazy.
Yeah,
I mean-
it is a little trippy. I mean, kinda.
Yeah, but the context was just all I can say is that worth picking up, and I think it's just a one shot too.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, for us.
But
All I
it
know.
just
I don't
a-
recognize the publisher, but
A really good book. So I really enjoyed that. The Life Preacher. I'm still gonna rep Riverdale. Continuation.
I did
of-
read Riverdale.
Did you actually wait?
I
you
saw there's a guitar on the
like-
front. I don't remember it, but I did read it. I looked through it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that you gave the time to look through it.
I gave it a look through. But I also found out one of Zach and Cody is Jughead on the show.
yeah,
They had that at the end of the comic. I remember that.
It's the one who leaks pictures of his penis to the internet.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I've always thought he looks like your brother. Zach and Cody look like Evan Sanders.
That combined.
Yeah.
The power of
You
forces.
combine the twins and
Yeah.
they form a
They're the superpowers. The
now,
Wonder
did anyone
Twins
read Mighty Mouse?
shape up.
I was looking for that. I could not get a hold of it.
I
saw
found
it.
it. It was at
Yeah, bam.
The
We
store.
I
got
saw
one
that one
copy.
too. I actually read that one. It's just an introductory one of a little
I-
kid that gets bullied.
Exactly. I kind of thought it was a piece of shit issue.
Well, it's the introducctory, dude. You gotta do like.
You know what? This is the one time where Austin will lay down the card of, you know what? Maybe that should be an issue 0 because it sucked dick.
Yeah, come to save the day.
But like it's a little kid that gets bullied that likes Mighty Mouse, and he draws him on his piece of paper, and then Mighty Mouse comes out of the TV and
He
he's
gets
like,
sucked out.
Hey, I'm gonna help you in your life because it's shitty because you're a little kid to get bullied.
Oh.
So check that one out, Evan.
What does Mickey Mouse? What does Mighty Mouse sound like? Does he? Do you think he sounds like Mickey?
Mouse. Yeah, watch out.
He's
That's how I imagine. Did anyone read? Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse.
actually in the original cartoon series. There was a cartoon series a long time ago. He actually did sound a little more like Mickey Mouse.
I'm a game for Mickey Mouse. I like more fun filled. Did anyone read Unsound?
I did.
I really.
Is it by our homeboy Colin Bunn?
Yep. And I gotta say he pulled. I didn't expect this. No,
This is really good.
I would say Nick, you don't dive in usually to the independents, but like
I try.
Unsound would be one where you would. It was so deep.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of had I did it twice today. And
I got like I told Austin earlier, I got a real One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest vibe from it.
Yeah,
Which
definitely.
if you've seen that movie, read that book, and that you like them, then read this comic for sure.
No,
And also like horror, because this is a horror comic.
oh yeah, there's all I can think now is like what is it like? We're seeking the prince. Like I'm gonna be thinking that all night. Did anyone read? I'm gonna probably pronounce the Orgasmageddon comic.
Oh, I did.
It's
I
the
did.
new Guar book, and
I
I
didn't
gotta
realize it
say,
was Guar.
it's so funny because
There's
I
not a lot.
never thought that Guar. This is the medium they've been seeking their
I was
whole
gonna say
life.
this is like something that we should have pitched a while back because it fits really well.
It worked so good. It's a Guar comic book, and like all the
And-
characters, like everything makes
Granted,
sense.
there's not a lot of substance to it. It's
Oh,
just
no,
mostly
it's
violence,
goof.
which
Yeah.
you expect from
Guar.
Guar. But I mean, it did what it sought out to do, and it's definitely going to appeal to Guar fans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and,
the point.
I opened it up to read at work, and got 3 pages in, and like I'm going to get fired, and
Yeah, like that.
I closed it.
Army of Darkness did a 0 issue, which was just a fun. It was just Dynamite doing a promotion. They sold it for 99 cents,
Oh,
so it was cool. It was an issue 0. It was kind of fun, just Ash being Ash, and then Predator Hunters. It's just like Dead Orbit.
I couldn't find that one anywhere.
it wasn't as good as the first issue, but it was fun.
Agreed. It was a good issue, but the thing is, Dead Orbit and this what are they calling this? Hunters.
Predator Hunters, yeah.
Okay, they're just strong series for being Alien versus Predator stuff. And then Reborn wrapped up. It's Mark Miller's latest run. Mark Miller done Civil War and
Yeah,
Ultimate
he
Logan.
does
and
Kick Ass and
yeah.
Nemesis, all those ones.
Reborn, and it was a double issue. It was a fun. It was a basic conclusion though. I mean, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. But Extremity, I'm gonna still rep this series. This is the fucking 4th book, and this is just
really,
a good
really
book.
strong. There's been no dip. The art's still
And-
amazing.
Everyone ends on a good cliffhanger where you're just like absorbed. Like,
And I think I found my new favorite characters still. I mean, or I'm maintaining my favorite character as Robot.
oh really?
Yeah, Robot is my favorite character. So,
I like how they keep introducing like one new character in issue.
uh-huh.
But this is a series that I will say. Leif, have you read this yet? Have you heard of Extremity?
No, but I am planning to.
I'll get you the first issue because it's just this book is just fucking it's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those Move Mountains books, but so that's the independent for this week. We didn't have as much, but let's
More than normal. We only have like a couple. But
Well, there's actually a lot of issue 1s came out last week.
Oh, he said
I read quite a few of them, but a lot of them were not good.
But before we, Nick didn't get to jump into as much Marvel this week, so let's just dive into DC. Before I talk about all my like subcasts of DC like Vertigo, Young Animal, and all that stuff. Let's talk about the big boys. I don't want to talk Batman yet. I'm going to have to take a piss break because I've got so much to talk about. I literally had to call Nick.
Oh, this second time tonight.
I know. But I had to call Nick at a point because I was so upset about Batman. But let's talk about Nick. Did you read Bane or did you read Master Race?
I did. Yeah, I finished
read all of them.
Yeah, DC I did read because fanboy.
So let's talk about Master Race. Did you read this, Justin?
This is the conclusion of Master Race. Now, I wasn't really a huge fan of this story myself.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something about it.
Are you a fan of any of the other?
Yeah, I love the first one is classic.
What
the
about
second one's.
I don't like the second one.
Second one's okay, but I just it's more Superman centric. I wasn't too thrilled with the ending myself. Like, it just ended up being super... I mean, it was a happy ending. It's something that usually, like, Frank Miller doesn't do. But the thing that I liked the most from this is when Superman started to go all Dark Knight Batman.
I know, right?
Like, he's like, that son of a bitch, he's been holding back the entire time. And he just starts to name off, like, if I punch your solar plexus, you're going to go down. If I snap your wrist, it's going to take you 3 seconds to move. Like, he's, like, calling it out, and it just makes me happy.
When he did like the Sherlockian,
it made me so happy.
I love that, and then I also loved. I loved the. Do you read it digitally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I
at
do.
the very end, they have the second.
Oh, yeah, the like the epilogue type thing. Yeah.
Really like that epilogue for me.
That was neat to have Carrie and.
I just like this story. I liked her becoming taking up the steps of Batwoman.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they're gonna roll her over to the main continuity.
No,
they will.
You think so?
Yes, I do. They will.
I
eventually.
agree. I think
someday.
Carrie. Wait,
no,
what?
No, that's Michael Cera.
Oh, that's the best joke of it. I can name the podcast now.
But how great a casting was that for Michael Cera to be Robin?
Oh, perfect.
That makes me laugh. That's
absolutely
great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what was the second book I was talking about?
You talked about Bane Conquest, and I did read that. Batman's in it.
But
so it's a Bane comic issue about Bane losing?
No, they're both in the same jail. Or what do you call it?
It's I don't know what the jail is. It's not Peña Duro, but it's something like it. Who's the character's name? Like the main one? It's like not Bishop, but somebody kind of like that. I can't remember, but anyway, he just like it made me kind of like disappointed that Batman was in there. Like he got caught doing something too. But it is kind of cool.
That's what I didn't understand. Well, I didn't like the fact that he was Bruce Wayne in jail. Well, it wasn't like Batman with a Batman suit. It was just Bruce Wayne in jail.
No names, because they didn't want him to know who it was, and they just kind of had that suspension of disbelief, like, oh, this handsome billionaire that everybody knows, we don't know who he is.
Who is this guy? He's in the newspaper every day and on TV.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But I mean, it was cool to see Batman and Bane just kind of working together because Bane was a good guy, I think, for like maybe a month or so in the comics back in the day. But
he's a good guy for one issue.
Yeah, but it was interesting because I think Bane has the potential to be a good guy. He just does what needs to be done.
Yeah, he can work towards good goals, but he's not always going to perform good actions.
You can sympathize with Bane, especially with the 5-part I Am Bane before the button.
Oh,
part,
yeah.
Where you see him growing up in that little cell that floods every day.
Yeah,
and goes down every night. You can really start to sympathize with this.
You feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't been a big fan of the art for Bane Conquest. Nick, how do you feel about the art?
Yeah,
I agree.
It's a lot different.
Looks like crayon.
Well, that's
Like
kind of
really
how
nice
that's kind of how Snyder's in like who is it?
Greg
Capullo?
Capullo.
Yeah, Capullo's. That's kind of how he's always done it, which I don't mind. But I really am not a big like coloring paint by numbers type fan myself. I like it when they do something a little different. But it seemed all right. I mean, I'm gonna keep going with it. It seemed good. Did you guys do Green Lanterns at all? Because that kind of wrapped up this like little arc.
With Simon.
It was cool. It was
I just don't like Simon.
dude. It was them. It was them fighting Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner.
Okay,
So-
don't tell me anything more.
Why?
I'll read that issue.
I'm gonna give you one thing that was really funny.
Okay.
Jessica Cruz is fighting Guy Gardner, and so
That already pitches me on this issue.
I love Jessica Cruz. She's good.
No, she's great.
Yeah, and he punches Guy Gardner or something, and he says like, "Oh, I can't remember what it was, but it was so good because he's like, you think one punch is gonna take me out?" And then she's doing like an internal monologue because you know how she's very unsure of herself.
Yeah.
She's like, "Okay, don't say something that'll piss him off. Don't say something that'll piss him off. Keep him calm. Keep him calm." Well, that's what Batman told me, is what she says to him. And it's so great. It was just the best comeback ever, and it made me laugh and smile, and I am a happy boy.
See, this is what I don't understand is that she's such a good character, because I mean we've watched her grow like in the last 3 years since.
Well, she hasn't grown that much. She's still an insecure baby. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean she's got power.
Well,
I guess.
and that's the thing. She's overcoming her fear. So like it's, you know, where you have
I've already overcame it. If she's
all
a
the
Green
rest.
Lantern.
I mean, all the rest of them have like
I was like, just fuck that bitch.
yeah, all the rest of them never really had to do. Well, Kyle did a little bit, but the rest of them never really had to do like an actual overcoming fear type thing.
And
They just
also,
already
she's
had
got
willpower.
a different sort of power too.
Yeah, I mean, she got in the door with the ring of Volthoom. Oh, also, Volthoom's doing some shady shit in this too, and I love that.
Oh, that's coming back then.
Yeah, there apparently he's finding that he can create the Phantom Lantern or whatever it was from the thing, which is great. That he needs like one of the original 7 rings, and of course, who has one of the original 7 rings? Jessica Cruz. So
he's hunting her down and stuff.
Yeah, so it
That'd
used
be
to
cool,
it
man.
used to belong to like a Martian like 15 million years ago or something. Like one of the first.
So what else is Thanos doing?
Thanos?
Well, Thanos.
I mean, it just sounds like the exact
he's
same
just
thing.
watching.
He's got to get every single one of them.
Yeah, Volthoom. What he's trying to do is he's trying to make this. Did you read the Phantom Lantern?
I read that arc.
Okay,
And
that's a good
arc.
arc.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like it too. It was really good. Anyway, he's trying to recreate his lantern so he can go back in time to the way he was because he thinks that the Guardians
Fucked
had
him over.
like, yeah, and now that he's like taken over Raimi or whatever it is, he's trying to go back into the archives and find how or what they did to make the original rings, and apparently they melted his lantern into 7 of the first rings. So he found out that one belongs to Jessica Cruz now, of course.
When you just pitched that, I was like, oh, like Lord of the Rings. Like it just sounds like
Kind
that
of.
same like
Yeah,
breaking.
it just makes me think like, you know, it's like 7 rings. I smell the emotional spectrum, but
I would really like to bring back more. I want to get the lanterns away from Earth. Like, when you,
that's what they did in this. They're on Oa training with like the 4 other lanterns: Guy Gardner, Rayner,
And-
John Stewart, and Hal Jordan. They're training with them on Oa.
How's
Can we get a John Stewart crossover comic with John Stewart and John Stewart from real life?
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yes, and you're gonna
Like
write-
the ring gets confused.
John Stewart of Earth, you have the great power to make people laugh. Here's your Green Lantern ring.
All right, let's move on. I just say this has been the first time I can say in the last couple months. Fucking Aquaman moved forward.
Did it? I didn't read it.
Yeah, Aquaman was cool.
This is a
this
finally
one actually
where we're like, all right, we're getting on the fucking.
So-
great
Basically,
train.
it took him getting
ousted. Yeah.
jabbed.
Basically, they're like, "Fuck you, you're not king."
Now the guy that stabbed through him, is that the one that says Neptune's balls?
Yeah, that's Merc.
Okay.
Gore?
all right.
Oh,
Merc was like, basically, Aquaman just got shanked
Mm-hmm.
and is dying, and they demoted him. He's not king.
who's gonna be king now?
What's his name? The new guy.
It's the guy with like the face paint. I can't think of what his Roth.
Coram Roth.
Coram
Okay.
Roth.
It's the guy
High five for
he's
notes,
only
man.
been there for like two
Yes.
or 3 issues.
I have to keep notes down, or else I forget.
That's
Well,
a good
I mean,
idea.
especially with these new characters.
We need to all just
like-
get notepads.
But he, I don't know, it was just, and in all honesty, it was just a cool issue. Like Mira kind of with her like, Art, let's fucking not. They're kicking you out of Atlantis. Let's go to stay in Amnesty. You've got a house. Like, you don't have to be a king. Let's stay with your dog and just like live in existence. And then
Let's be a hipster couple and just live with our son who's a dog.
like the fact that she's like, listen, we don't have to do this bullshit. Like, you've got a joint. Like, let's just fucking stay there. And then he's like, I'm gonna not do that. And then he gets shanked.
Well, because he tries to come back and find him. They're like, no, we need to.
Everyone turned against him.
Which they didn't like doing it, but they felt like they have to.
They feel like Atlantis is more poignant than Arthur.
Atlantis is kind of like Wakanda in a way. Like, if you can kind of think how Wakandans would deal with that, which
you're not part of the shit.
Based on the trailer, what is probably going to happen? They're going to oust him somehow.
That's why I'm hoping for a King of the Dead scenario.
That seems more than likely.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see the god. Going way back to Black Panther, I want to see the goddess.
I don't think. Well, I mean, they might have. Well, Shuri's in it, so you might have those flashback sequences.
I really hope it's played by Beyonce.
I hope. No, I'm hoping it's like Aretha Franklin or
They're just gonna bring her back. They're gonna do that whole Robert Downey Jr.
No, it's just how she is now.
On someone or Tarkin that shit.
Tarkin was good, but crepey Robert Downey Jr. young face, like pasted onto a young body, was I hated it.
Well, no, like the Tarkin, when I saw it in the theater, it looked really good, but now that I see it on Blu-ray, I'm like, it's still creepy. But
the Princess Leia one.
The RDJ one was good though. In Civil War, that one was.
I think the best I've seen is the Kurt Russell though in Guardians. Keep in mind, it's not on DVD or Blu-ray yet, so I can't.
We didn't really have any really close-up shots too. We had a few of them.
I think that's why it works.
But yeah, exactly.
All right, so what's next?
So Superman.
Okay.
Fucking good. It's just every week.
We didn't get to talk about that the week before, but they brought Manchester Black back. That is awesome. I love that.
I gotta bring it up.
He's like a formidable Superman villain.
Hold on, I gotta bring it up.
And of course, I read him with an accent too, like we all have to.
Is he Australian or British?
No, he's Manchester. He's British.
Okay.
He's going to Cockney. Oh, for the love of blah blah blah. Like kind of like that.
First off, I thought this was gonna be a continuing arc on this one. It was not.
Well, it is the Black Dawn or whatever, right?
Well, that's what I thought it was, but I didn't feel that way at all.
It was literally a direct follow-up from the last issue. What are you talking about?
He still has like the black goo. He's the one that like I guess orchestrated it or something. I think you're thinking like Revenge Squad, right? Because that's Action Comics.
That hasn't happened in the Superman comics at all.
Yeah, the time scale in comics is weird. I mean, like they do with Secret Empire now.
There's this part where
it's
they
like
do
some
this
of them
flashback where it's got. There it is. Okay. It's got this one panel in this fucking book, and I've obsessed over this, but it's got Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The character Frankenstein, not Dr. Frankenstein, but like and then Soups, Bruce, Damien, and Frankenstein's wife. It's something about that one part I was just blown away by, like the art wise, and then it cuts to that last thing where you've got fucking Jonathan just
and that's what the black ooze thing is. That it's basically like I guess maybe Manchester Black mind control sauce.
Yeah, mind control goop.
I don't know, but because was it?
Okay, we'll just say it's a semen. That's what it is.
Was it Action Comics? Maybe I'm thinking about Action Comics.
No, Action Comics was the Superman Revenge Squad with the Suicide Squad. Kinda.
Wait, which one was the one where it was like Lois Lane narrating the whole thing? Was that?
That was 2 issues ago. Superman.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's gone in a straight line. It's been pretty easy to follow.
It's just, I mean, I just like this book. All I can say is I just enjoy this.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know who these space aliens are. Did Manchester Black make them stronger, or is this just another race of super strong space aliens?
This is the first issue we got of Manchester Black, and
it was in the last issue at the very end.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the first one where you're actually seeing like his motivations and his tomfoolery.
All I can say is that Soups and Action would just keep carrying on. Like they really do have guys that know what they're doing, because we're getting them regularly, and none of them have been inconsistent. They've all been tied in. So we've done that. I don't want to talk about Batman yet. Oh, hey, did you pick up? I didn't put this on the read list, but they did a Batman 66 Legion of Superheroes one-off.
No, I didn't. That wasn't in my. That wasn't in my list either.
Yeah, it was one of those digital ones.
No, it wasn't in that one either. That's what I'm saying. That's weird.
Yeah, well, I'll have to show you.
Yeah.
Fun time. It was,
Hook a brother up.
they had a Shadowlass, Phantom Girl, Saturn Girl, and a Brainiac. They didn't have Cosmic Boy or Lightning Lad or anything in it. It was just a cool little book, and it was that goofy like Adam West vibe, but fun book. Definitely check out.
Okay.
So I want to bitch about two things. Well, hold on. Did anyone jump into Deathstroke 20? It was a continuation.
Yeah, I read Deathstroke 20.
Did you guys? I didn't vibe off that.
I want Deathstroke's tagline to be "Go with Christ." After how much Bible quoting he was doing.
Well, this is him now. He's trying to be reformed. He said he's done being Deathstroke. He's done, which is total shit. We know that. But now, who is the big buff guy? Is that like Grant?
Oh,
like
his new part of his new
course?
team.
Yeah. No. The big guy that's fighting Deathstroke in it, who's wearing the Deathstroke costume.
Oh, I don't
recognize that guy.
I only continued this because they said it was an epilogue to Lazarus.
Well, it kind of is. Pretty much, he forms his. I think they're called the Dark Teen Titans.
Is
what he forms.
That name.
No, I think they did.
DC has the Superman Revenge Squad.
I think it was
say Dark Teen Titans.
I think it was Dark Titans, and it's like Ravager, a Rose Wilson Ravager. I think Jericho is there.
All I can say is that
Wintergreen. I love him. He is hilarious. He's great.
I didn't enjoy any part of this issue. I was just like upset. I thought it was good because I actually really liked. I've always talked about the Lazarus. Excuse me. I'm saying it like I have TH at the end of it.
Lazarus.
Lazarus. The new one they've done, and I thought it was cool, and it said it was going to continue, and I just didn't enjoy this run of Deathstroke, and I haven't enjoyed really any of this Deathstroke.
I know you haven't been too huge Deathstroke fan,
but the thing is,
lately,
how much I really love. I don't even want to talk about it. We have so much more to talk about than me not liking the new Deathstroke.
You guys read Nightwing? There wasn't really much going on.
I don't read Nightwing.
They had Blockbuster in it.
I don't know that character. So
he's like this. They're forming some kind of team too with him, and it's not Mark Desmond. It's his brother Roland apparently. Or I could be mistaken. It could be the other way around. But
I feel like if I picked up a Nightwing book, I wouldn't know anything going on.
His girlfriend is Asian, and they're trying to get pregnant, but she's not. And they apparently had sex with his costume on. So
that's cool. Well,
I'd
read that.
They role played.
I'd read that.
But IRL.
So this is where one thing that really pissed me off this week. Flintstones ended.
Yeah, they did. They wrapped it up.
It was 12 issues,
12
right?
issues. The best book I'm going to say in the last 5 years that I consistently, every 12 issues, I can say I smiled, and I guess what I was, when I get my pull list all downloaded, I always get into Flintstones first. I'm just excited. Like, I guess that sort of excitement doesn't always come. Have you jumped into any of these Hanna-Barbera books yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. These are just such powerful books. Even I don't read, as a Wacky Racist fan, I don't read it. They're Wacky Raceland, and then they also have the Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. That's
actually popular. I don't like it, but it's popular.
That's what I was going to say. I cannot believe how rave the reviews are for that book. It's not my thing, but it's so popular.
I'd read a regular Scooby-Doo comic. Don't make it goofy.
You can.
Huh?
Warner Brothers through DC puts out a Scooby-Doo team up, and they team up Shazam, and it's actually really a cool book. And then they do a Where Are You Scooby-Doo book.
Oh.
So if you then
I'll do that.
And then they also do a Looney Tunes book. Warner Brothers, because they own DC, does that. But it was a good issue, but it just upset me that it was the final.
Hopefully we'll have Jetson soon.
That's all. Okay, that's all I can keep repping is I want that Jetson.
Here's the thing: if you viewers really do love Flintstones, get they're on the internet, write letters. Just keep on writing to them. Sooner or later, they'll get so tired of you, they'll bring it back.
I think that's actually. Well, the guy that wrote
that's a grassroots campaign thing kind of going there. That's a good idea.
Bring back Flintstones.
But yeah, that ended.
A great cousin.
I'd like to keep going, but all right, we're gonna jump to Marvel, and I'm just gonna start
Don't you want to talk about Batman?
Oh shit!
Talk about Batman.
Okay.
I just feel like that we might not even get to
let me
Marvel
preface
tonight.
it like this, okay? There's not many things that make my jaw drop of anything. I'm a very cynical. I'm very whiny. Yeah, there's not a lot that's like, oh, I saw that coming. I saw that. This I didn't see coming, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Okay, let's talk about the first. No, it's a 22-page issue. Let's talk about the first 20 pages because Batman was the most Batman I've ever seen him be. He's with Gotham Girl, and he's just being like,
He's just in the daylight, but you'd think it was nighttime because
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
just
brooding
been like-
as hard as he can.
like it was so cool, and I was just digging it because first off, I love Gotham Girl as a character, and to watch the reflection of them.
Well, it's good
Like-
to have their personalities
Exactly, and it was
playing
it
off
was
each other. Like,
really, really good. Like,
like,
I
well,
just,
why do you do this? Because I have to. You know, just stuff like that. And
it was
like,
perfect. Like,
yeah,
he said,
Well-
"I'm the Batman."
Well, no,
like,
he was like, what did he say? He says,
I'm Batman because I am Batman.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not Batman to have fun. I'm not Batman to be happy. I'm Batman because I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a great line.
and I was just like so into it. And then that last page, I was like,
Which I'm glad they went that direction instead of him not being Batman. Because I was so worried that the button thing was
After
going to
the
be
button,
him.
that's what I was
Which
curious.
that's okay. I mean, this isn't as bad as him not being Batman.
"So where do you, okay? This I guess if
Do you,
you
don't
don't
guys
like
read,
it-
you guys all know what we're talking
Yeah,
about
his
here, right?
dad
Okay.
was
Yeah.
saying, if you could do one thing, please don't
be
be
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
biggest thing for me is where the fuck are they going?
Um,
Like the next
I know,
issue
that's-
is gonna be like so
that is gonna be
Because
crazy.
keep
They're
in
at
mind-
sales,
keep in mind,
picking
like,
out rings.
No, I can just see.
Batman is not even like it's not like he's been dating Selena. Like it's not like everyone like is in the know that him and Catwoman hang out.
Yeah.
It's like it would be like
And isn't this also the continuity where Catwoman is like a mass murderer?
yep.
Yep. Like,
It just I have
Since that
no
time we met on
concept
the
of what's
boat.
gonna happen.
I knew.
Yeah, it's like I
I
knew
knew.
when I got that jewel that this was the
Oh,
one.
hold on.
I'm
Can
like, fuck you,
wait,
Bruce.
Wait, can you explain that to me?
She was robbing jewels because she's a cat burglar, and he recovered one of the gems and he kept it instead of.
old school?
No, it probably
no.
didn't actually happen.
I think it might be in 0 year somewhere, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I didn't get the reference, and
But
Okay.
no,
and
I
he
don't
turned
think.
it into an engagement ring.
the stolen
so-
gem.
So he's a bad guy. You know, he didn't. No, that's.
Here's my theory on why this is happening. Batman has been a long time without his parents. His dad's like, don't be Batman, son. So he's going to be a rebellious kid. Not only is he going to keep being Batman, I'm going to marry Catwoman too. Fuck you, Dad. And this is just his like midlife crisis.
I totally thought you were gonna say
I-
Batman started masturbating.
Why would he do that?
He doesn't need to. I mean, there's several panels in Catwoman. They have sex all the time.
Yeah. On rooftops.
On
Yeah,
rooftop.
no,
After fighting Condiment King.
We should have fought Condom King. We need it. Anyway, I see it as what Batman took from that is that life is too short. You need to kind of do this,
like
which
an
is
actual-
yeah.
actual thing.
But
I don't like that.
also, you know, I think that this is gonna lead up to something in the Dark Days or whatever. Because you know,
Well, Evan
But,
actually
my-
thinks that's a different universe.
yeah. My
I-
question for you: what is the Dark Multiverse? What is it? They ask us every single issue this week, and I don't know. What
I
is
don't.
the Dark Multiverse?
Well, what I think is it's they've mentioned the multiverse several times, but they've only mentioned in the past once, I believe, on the dark, way in the past, on the dark multiverse, and it has being kind of like the shadow of the multiverse itself, like a good version and a bad version.
Yeah, equal and opposite
So
reaction.
there's infinite universes,
And then another infinite
evil
evil
universes.
Well, it's like
we're gonna do that. Yes.
it's like what I said when we were in high school, and I was just completely stupid. I said, "Well, what do we know about planets behind the sun? Do you think that those are like the evil reverse planets?" And then you're like,
Wait, you said that?
"Yeah, I did." You're like, "Behind the sun, you think the planets are all in a row?" And I was like, "Oh, wait, no."
I don't remember you
My
saying
bad.
that, but
No, that was pretty dumb. Yeah, that's what that is. It's basically just
But if it turns out to be a like a dark version of all the other, worlds in the multiverse, are they going to be more like a mirrored version of those worlds? And if so, well, we already have all these different universes on where like Batman is a woman and all that type of stuff.
You got 52 different universes. I mean, it seems like they're just
like an evil version of the Batman female and all that.
Well, and I mean, you have that with Earth 3. I mean, you already have evil
See, that's all I
Batman.
can think about is like everything.
What about Earth? What about Earth 13?
The best Earth
With Super
Yes.
Demon? What is the reverse of Super Demon?
Yeah, exactly.
Pussy demon.
Oh, please! I don't like violence.
He still has to talk in... No, what's the opposite of Shakespearean rhyme?
Iambic
Rapping? He just he raps as he's the rapping demon.
pentameter.
All right.
Gone the form of man. I don't like to fight. Run away
I would
again.
say if you're a Batman,
If you're Batman?
I don't know. I just really like this issue.
I'll defend it.
I do like this.
I liked it too. I don't think anybody
just-
disliked it.
Yeah, it was just so. It was.
I love Batman.
This was the best issue of the week, obviously. Like this, it just stole
I mean,
my
granted,
attention.
what you say about it, whether you liked it or not, it's going to be the most talked about one because just how giant this
Okay,
is.
but
This
Tom King keeps doing this I Am Suicide. Like, the thing is that he's able to. What I've noticed about King's writing is that he can tie in everything that's going on. Like, if it's Justice League versus Suicide Squad, if it's even if it's tied in with like the Trinity, like Superman stuff, he can somehow like mention, like name drop stuff. And, like, he's dropped in the Legion of Superheroes stuff in it too. Like, it's just he can somehow write in these things without making them feel uncomfortable. I don't know, just good fucking
We're
book.
looking at a completely different Bruce Wayne if Selena Kyle is going to own half of his assets.
Don't. Let's go to Doctor Strange 20 on Marvel, because Doctor Strange 21 is what we read last week, and we're reading Doctor Strange 20 this week. I was incorrect in what I said, that it was the first issue of Dennis Hopeless's run. 21 for the Secret Empire was his first issue, so what we missed was Doctor Strange 20 for Jason Aaron's. It was his final issue. And it was cool, but it's like, I didn't really give a fuck because I already knew where it went. Like, why the fuck would you release it 21 to 20? I don't know.
I didn't read it. I don't read Doctor Strange, so...
Because that's the way they did it, Austin.
I do like him turning into a beagle at the first part of that cosmic auction.
Man, I should have
I like
reminded
that
this
dog,
week, a
and
beagle.
then, whoa, what do you know? It's Doctor Strange. And then they ended up in Weird World.
Weird World. Yeah, Jason Aaron tied that back in. So I thought it was cool,
That's
but...
wacky magic.
So the one thing I guess I'll have the most complaints about... No, I don't know. Secret Empire is right up there with it. Iceman. I want to talk about Iceman because I... Do any of you guys read Old Man Logan?
Yeah, I followed it.
Yeah, I followed it a little bit. Yeah.
Did you... Okay, the last issue of Old Man Logan, Iceman, at one point during this last arc, Logan ran into him and he's like, listen, at this time period, I need you to save my ass. Like, and then he did it. Like, Bobby shows up, and if you don't know, he's like Omega level mutant at this point. Like, Bobby has such a masterful skill of his craft, and he rescued Logan. It is just like, it just showed who Bobby is. Now, if you don't know, there's younger Bobby right now that's homosexual.
He just right now he's homosexual. He didn't decide later. Like just.
Well, no.
I'm gonna play the field.
No, actually, you were right on point.
He's going to play the field on a dating website.
But so older
I have
Bobby
apps
is
on
now looked at younger
Plenty of
Bobby
Fish and Grindr.
as understanding him as a homosexual, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, my younger self was gay, and I've never questioned those feelings, so now I'm going to. So he starts a dating website to start trying to find men.
Does he get on Grinder? Is that what he does?
I don't know.
No.
It also detects mutants.
It's just really upsetting to me because I like
Grindr
looking
X.
at Bobby, old Bobby, which he's called now, as like this guy that's like, he's moved past his past. I mean, he's become a really important mutant in the last like.
Is he just straight up like ice now? He's not even like in human guys or whatever.
No,
No, he's inhuman.
Oh, okay,
if he
gotcha.
needs to do, but
Okay.
when he's in ice, he's not just like little like skinny, like he can do anything he wants now.
But yeah,
with his ice.
one of his big things is he makes himself huge.
Yeah,
made of ice.
That's back in the day. They had who was it? It was Emma Frost, I think, took control of him and like kind of opened up the possibilities to this is what he can
do. Exactly. Yeah. And it's just the fact that like so this series is not. That's what I wanted to read in Iceman. I wanted to see him just dealing with the fact that there's a younger him. Mutants are kind of on the back burner, and
again, we don't know that this is not going to be that.
This series has him just dating, trying to find men on a dating website. The series doesn't have anything
but have one issue.
I know. It's just, I just didn't want to read one issue of that.
That wasn't even what was going on in the issue. It was in the background every 2 pages.
Reaching to demographics everywhere.
Oh, yeah, and the purifier guy that shows up.
That's what it is. We couldn't think of what they were called last week. Purifiers.
Purifiers. Going after him because he's a mutant and him being gay is just icing on the cake. So he's like, I'm going to get you first.
That was a good pun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good pun. Was it a pun?
Icing on the cake.
Oh,
yeah.
God, we're stooping low for this episode.
I get it.
Should be interesting, like thinking that there is a group out there that's anti-mutant and
they've been in gold. Like they've been in gold, right?
Purifiers, no. Purifiers were in Next Generation X,
and it took me a couple of pages. There's a discrete cross on their hockey goalie masks.
Well, that's been the Purifiers thing for a while. But the Purifiers have been around since the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know if you guys follow video games all that much, but have you guys heard of a game called X-Men Destiny?
Yeah, Austin, do you follow video games?
Yeah,
Pong.
Yeah, but
Blackjack, Solitaire.
But anyway, they call this X-Men Destinies. You get choice between 3 different characters. The Purifiers are basically the main little, all the foot soldiers.
Yeah,
basically the Purifiers are the foot soldiers throughout the entire game.
Wait, what is this on?
I have it on PS3, but
it was on all the consoles. It wasn't very well received, from what I hear.
Mm-hmm. But it's basically you get to choose which one of the 3 you want and what their power is. Then you get to play their story, and you get to meet up with all these things, including the old Iceman, who's just. He used
to be a quippy, fun guy.
Yeah, you get your choice of 2 people. You get like the X-Men side, and then you get the Brotherhood of Mutants you can join up with.
You get to choose if you're going to be a Brotherhood or an X-Men.
Of course.
Which I recommend if you do it. Even though the X-Men is probably where most people would go, Brotherhood way better. You get a lot better storyline. But anyway, what I was getting at is that. The exact same thing that you're talking about with this Iceman, same stupid thing goes on in this game with Iceman. Like you come up with the same Iceman who's just, he actually comes onto your guy character in this game as he's introduced himself. He basically
really?
Well, yeah. I thought they just made him a gay character recently. In comics, he hadn't been homosexual
for
a while.
5 years, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's only because they came back in all new X-Men, which
I thought that had happened in the last year or 2.
Very fondly. No,
they've been steadily doing it for years.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Bendis did a run on. He did Uncanny X-Men and all new X-Men at the same time.
Yeah.
And brought the 1960s Iceman back.
Well, no, I knew that, but I didn't know when they had done that. I thought that was
they've
recent.
been actually going with this whole gay Iceman thing since, I think, right after X-Men 2, the movie.
Wait, what?
Well, because, I don't know if you knew this, but the guy who plays Iceman in the movies, he's gay.
No, not Sean Ashmore.
Is that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the Ashmore twins. I'm not sure which one.
He's gay, and he says in the making that they say in the making that that scene was really hard from coming out to his fake parents that he's mutant because it was kind of like.
Well, that goes into what Evans discussed that the point of the mutants was to kind of break down all those walls and barriers.
Yeah, when they were first created, that was like their thing. It was
racial stereotypes and homosexuality.
Yeah.
And
but that's kind of where they started the whole Iceman's gay thing.
But I don't know. It's a trope. We always talk about these tropes. They keep coming up, but
we love our tropes. It's what keep us in business.
I guess that's true. But all right, let's jump into something fucking metal as fuck. Is the new Darth Vader?
Oh, okay.
Charles Soule took over, and
They didn't take over. This is new.
well, I mean, Kieran is still Kieran left and started writing Dr. Aphra, and now this is Darth Vader Volume 2, which is the first time we've had in this Star Wars new universe that we have a second volume.
I
of
had the
book.
Emperor in it. I'm a Palpatine fan.
I like Palpatine in this book because he was just like, he's such a dick.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
and that's
so
that's
mean.
good. that's what he's supposed to be, you know. And it makes
But the first panel is just like, you killed Padme in your anger. And then he throws him into the wall. It's like, and don't ever do it again.
Okay, one of my favorite things he did though was he said, "This is where I really, I'm not a fan. I think I mentioned on the podcast. I'm not into episode 1 through 3.
You don't have to say that.
You're kidding. You're not.
No,
Austin Sanders doesn't like a Star Wars movie.
I know.
You're joking.
But okay, but the thing is that
This
he
man
did this
has
one thing where
the biggest Star Wars collection I've ever seen in my life. He
goes,
had all the toys except for one.
Let's not talk about the one toy I don't have.
That I have?
Was it
That I have?
Yep.
Happy birthday. No. Well, actually, I had two, but go on. It's the Han Solo one in the Fruit Loops box, but
Damn, we're going deep cuts on Nick's and Melissa's side right now. But no, Palpatine goes, "I'm your friend." Like, never forget that. And I thought that was like a really powerful line. Like, and like, listen, I know you're pissed right now, but it's weird to watch this. Like, I almost sort of feel that Palpatine actually is his friend.
no, it's classic Stockholm syndrome. Is
Like,
what he's doing. He's
creepy.
He's
and
doing it up. He's like, I'm going to torture you. Here you are. And then he's like, well, I'm doing this because I'm your friend and I want you to do that. But here you go. It's okay. I still love you. Yeah,
No, perfect.
That
See,
is
if I
exactly
was
what he's
reading
doing.
that, I would have the hardest time,
Breaking a bitch.
hearing him
Breaking
say
a bitch.
that. Hearing him say that and seeing him, it would just.
Did you read? Okay, now this is nothing. I don't want to jump into the subject, but I read the physical issue. In the last 6 pages, they had a little cartoon of Darth Vader with a mouse droid.
that was
That
in the
was
digital
hilarious.
too.
I thought that was fucking amazing.
That was in the digital too.
Okay, yeah, I really enjoyed that. But needless to say, I'm gonna keep going. Whoa, that was really
That was a
accurate.
good mouse
I was like, whoa, I thought it was next to one. Let's
Did you guys think there was an actual mouse inside that droid too when you were growing up?
I mean,
like
that's
driving
I
it?
know that's why they were called that.
I
Right?
thought the power droids were just walking trash cans.
Yeah, the
But
gonk
turns out those
droids.
things have
Gonk.
reactors in them.
Gonk, gonk, gonk. The gonk
Dog
droids.
droids were actual gonks.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what a gonk
What's
is?
next?
Come on.
I want to talk about this because this also pissed me off this week.
Okay.
Nova ended on issue
Yep.
7. What
I
the
canceled.
fuck?
Like Sam Alexander Nova?
Why?
Really?
Because it didn't sell.
It was a good book. This is a. I'm sorry. I'm so pissed right now. I'm not.
Well,
I was
I
pretty.
guess this is them rolling over Nova into the Guardians of the Galaxy eventually. But
It's just that this is one of the best.
We just got Ryder back.
Again?
With Sam.
I guess so.
It was such a strong book. And if you were a fan of Annihilation,
Yeah.
they answered, or Thanos Imperative, they answered all these questions you've been wondering for years. And then they just ended it.
How
and I
did
was-
they get out? Like,
Well, they don't answer that.
oh, they don't answer
No,
that.
it just
Okay.
moves on.
They
That's
might
just something-
have had they not canceled
like
it
they're
at
never
issue
gonna
7.
say how him and Pete got out of the Cancerverse, or just like
No, Pete got out. Sam got out. Excuse me. Rich got out.
Rich didn't get out.
Dick
He
Ryder.
died there.
Dick Ryder.
Dick Ryder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn, that's.
Not his
I've
name.
never. No, it is. I've never thought about that till right now. His name is Dick Ryder. Wow, that's horrid.
You're welcome.
Okay. But anyways, we're talking about
Dick Ryder.
not talking about Dick Ryder.
Nick.
Sounds like
I
a
can tell you
gay
why.
parody of Knight Rider.
I'm gonna go places and do things.
I can tell you why this got canceled.
Why?
It's because it's an art style that's set to appeal to a younger audience. but it is a character that the other younger audience, aka the movie audience, doesn't know anything about. The Nova Corps is John C. Reilly getting blown up in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. There is no Nova. It's not an actual character.
They should roll over Steve Brule into like the Nova continuity.
I think so too.
Steve Brule is World Mind or whatever.
See, I saw that.
No, Miley Cyrus is World Mind.
Well,
I saw that issue
she
7
was-
last
Oh, Mastermind. She's Mastermind.
Yeah. No. There's another word. I can't think what it is, but yeah.
I can't either. I don't know. It just was upsetting.
It's disappointing.
Because it was a good book.
It was good.
Let's talk about a not good book, Brave New World.
Yeah, really bad.
With the start of it, if they were going to go into Atlantis, I would expect them to be going over the explosion that happened at the temple and not Namor's assassination.
Nope.
Nope.
Then we went on to what was the second story?
It was Giant Man.
Okay, in that insert, Nick and I had been talking about
Nick was just legitimately spooked.
an Ant-Man. It's so funny because I remember that. I remember.
Why'd you?
But an Ant-Man, he did give the Giant Man suit to that kid.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that because I was the other episode I was bitching about who the fuck is Giant Man.
Yeah.
I forgot Giant Man actually came back at the very end of Action Comics. Or sorry,
Whatever comics.
they don't call him Astonishing, do they? They call it Ant-Man. I think it's called Ant-Man.
I think is it the one with Nadia with Rob? That's a
No.
Okay.
Prior to Secret Wars, like
okay.
it's Ant-Man. It
Yeah.
was just Ant-Man books, but Giant Man came back. I forgot. Apparently, there's new Giant Man and new Falcon.
Okay, so did Giant Man come back, or was there a new Giant Man?
No, Scott Lang is still Ant-Man, and then there's a new Giant Man.
Okay, so he
Him
didn't
is
come
still
back.
dead. Yeah, but they
not
brought.
really. He's merged with Ultron.
Yeah, which that
pretty
just
much
that
dead.
they just talked about that somewhere too. Where was that?
That was last week, I think. He showed
What
up a
book
couple.
was that in?
All I
Though?
can
Secret
say is
Empire.
This week,
Oh.
tomorrow we get a new Uncanny Avengers.
That's the Giant Man. What's his name?
Raz
Leif.
Maholtra.
Man, now look, Leaf's here with the backup. I love it.
That's very memorable. I'll
But
remember
also,
that.
Nice.
But I will say this:
Show the viewers
that's a
at home.
badass fucking cover.
I like the cover.
Yeah.
It looked
That cover
pretty
is cool.
That's
promising.
the only reason I really bought this
Okay.
thing.
I was so super stoked when I saw that cover because out of the Secret Empire stuff so far, that's not main series because we've had 3 now. Uprising.
There was
No,
Underground.
not
Yeah,
including.
there's Uprising. There's are we counting Steve?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
And then
the ones that are just Secret Empire.
Secret Empire something.
Secret
Brave
Empire. I
New
think there's
World,
like Invasion.
Uprising, Underground.
I think
There's
just a
at least
regular.
4 or 5.
I think just a
There's
regular.
4
one.
right now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They're just. I don't know. It's just this.
Anyways, if this is any indication of what the direction Marvel's going to take things after Secret
Okay,
Empire, I
there's
might
3.
stop reading Marvel because this is bad.
That's a lot of new issues every week just involving Secret Empire.
Yeah, it's been really crazy.
They're really trying to get you to like that.
And it's
really
so
bad.
funny because, I don't even want to talk about it. Let's talk about All New Guardians. Did you guys read it? Anyone?
Mm-mm.
No, just me? Okay.
Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah.
Let it rip. Tell us what it's
I'm a
about.
Guardians fan, so I really enjoyed this book. It's cool because they've got
Well, what went on in it? Like, what was
right
the
now they've got
plot?
this new arc that's kind of started. Thank you. That's so you got the Grand Master, who is the character Jeff Goldblum will be playing in the upcoming
Is this
Ragnarok.
the new Grandmaster, like the classic kind of Grandmaster?
They have him aimed towards the Goldblum look,
Okay.
which I get. You know, you're tying it in. That's neat.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the collector, the looks like the Benicio del Toro version,
Well, that one I knew that they're gonna roll that one over.
and they're kind of doing this thing where they have to steal something from the Grandmaster to give to the collector, and it's cool. It's a fun arc, but Gamora is doing something separate on the side and not wanting to reveal it to anyone.
Yeah, she's sneaking off to Earth to have sex with Richard Rider.
Well, that's not what they're talking about in the book, but yes, she does. She is doing that too.
I can't remember where it was, but I think I might have heard somebody or read something about that said like the only man who could climb Mount Gamora in 1 second was Richard Rider. Is what I heard someone say.
I love that.
And that made me laugh so
Well-
hard. It's like that's awesome.
It's funny because I mean, I'm assuming with Evan it's the same, but like my first experience of Gamora was Annihilation,
Yeah.
and the Gamora that we know today is not like
Not that.
Nope.
which is weird. But all I can say is this all new Guardians is maybe okay, cool. It's not like Bendis' run, but the guy's doing it justice. It's cool to read it, but they're definitely tying every element of the movie into it, which is, I understand. So we've talked Iceman, Doc Strange. I gotta say this week, I don't think I'm gonna continue Champions.
I'm just really confused. It's this issue that made you not want to read it anymore.
I kind of like Champions.
I think no.
As a whole, I
As a whole,
I like it.
It's just the fact that it's just kept building up to this. I guess that's what it like. This is my fucking last straw.
Okay.
It's just I like the characters. I just didn't like.
I was talking shit on it from issue 1, and I'm still reading it. So
we'll see. This is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do a review of it in a month, and then you're gonna be like, "This issue's awesome," and like, I'm gonna go read it. Like that'll probably.
they'll be hooked again.
Exactly.
Rocket.
I hate to say it, but I'm stopping Rocket.
That was really bad.
It was just boring as fuck. This as a Rocket like.
I
Rocket's
remember reading
my
Rocket 1, and
Guardians
it was
persona.
pretty funny. I mean,
And exactly, Rocket bases.
and
It's-
Rocket you're not supposed to take serious. It's
Exactly,
just,
but
it's,
this one
yeah.
was.
I don't want a serious heist story from Rocket.
It is
Yeah.
though. I mean,
It's weird.
but okay, I will say this: it's got some really tight, cool art. Like
I like the art.
when I say tight, I mean like not like it's fucking tight, but like it's clean. Like
Yeah.
every fucking panel is just really like whoever's inking it is crushing on that book. So I mean that's positive. Evan and I both read. We're building up. This week is going to go to Defenders, and we're kind of talking about that. But Daredevil 21 and Jessica Jones 9 both tie into this beginning of Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil started the new arc this week, and it was cool because it brought back one of my personal favorite characters, Echo, and she's been dead for a while now. And then there's no explanation; she's just there.
Well, we had Secret Wars, so anything can happen.
Exactly.
This is probably just a different Echo that didn't die
But
from Earth 4000.
it's cool. Is Kobik the one that cleared Matt's name?
No, that was you missed that if you haven't been reading Daredevil. I will spoilers. It's the Purple Man's kids. Purple Man
Purple
built
Children.
He built a machine.
That's
so
their
that he could
name, the
influence-
Purple Children.
I believe so, right?
Huh.
Yeah, it's a Purple Children. I keep trying to say Purple Kids. But Purple Man built a machine that he was going to plug in all of the Purple Children into this machine, and then basically he could affect the whole world with his pheromones.
On a mass.
Yeah, en masse, the whole world.
The Purple Man.
And the kids, Daredevil rescued him and helped him out, and the kids are like, "Oh, we'll do something nice for Matt. Everybody's being really mean to him since he lost his secret identity. Let's give him that back." And so they just wipe the whole planet's
Memory of him being Matt.
nobody knows that he's
Oh, that's
Daredevil.
No harm, no
all that
foul.
San Francisco stuff.
Yeah, and he goes back to like his girlfriend's place and like, "Hey, honey," and she's like, "Daredevil, why are you breaking into my bedroom while I'm naked?" And it's just,
Why wouldn't I?
He's like,
and it's just,
I'm Daredevil.
yeah, that's how that happened.
It's
But,
okay, I can't see. I'm blind.
Matt?
But I don't know. It was all I can say is this.
The last panel was really good. I love Daredevil in a courtroom, like Daredevil in the costume in a
There was,
courtroom.
okay, this issue
him, like,
ends with
swearing on
Daredevil is on trial. Like Matt brings him.
Like Evan was talking about a few podcasts back about him doing flips and shit
Yes,
in court.
they did it 20 years ago, and now they're doing it again. Daredevil is on trial.
Oh man.
So it was cool, and then Jessica Jones. I just want to say that it's 9 issues in, and not one issue has been bad. Like
Well-
I really like this book.
Yeah, also the fact that 9 is actually a pretty good one. I mean, it doesn't really have any real go into the whole superhero, supervillain fight thing, but if you want us to really get
Solid
to know...
story.
Yeah, you want a solid story that really gets into knowing the characters, 9 is a good one to go with.
It felt like an image book, and now this is one thing I find interesting. Out of all the Marvel books we've been talking about and what we do, the only Marvel book that carries a warning on it is Jessica Jones. And it's funny
Punisher
because
does.
oh yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, anything with Deadpool and Punisher right now.
But the
does.
thing is, none of these books say fuck. Like, I mean, they all have the like
The hashes and stuff. The signs.
So I think it's interesting, and like you don't see like titty or you don't see things like that.
And
Like
that's why they're part of the big two. They have to appeal to that big audience.
But that's why I always find it curious that they have to put this parental advisory, like the classic, like.
Well, that's the thing is
it's a lure more than anything. I
You
think.
think so? That's what they're debating.
Well, I think that's part of it, but I think it's also that as a society, violence. Okay, blood, gore, guts, whatever.
It's a comic book.
We are more willing to accept violence than we are to accept bad language or sexuality.
That's really upsetting.
Western
Cut his
culture.
head off, but don't show a boob.
This episode is brought to you by
There's
Western
boobies.
culture.
There's boobies.
All right, let's talk. Nick, you read Avengers, right?
I think so.
With fucking Doom,
Yeah, I did.
where
With
Nadia
Doctor
asked
Doom.
Doctor Doom on a date. I was like, what?
Is that what happened in this issue?
Well, that was the last panel.
Oh, okay. I was just.
That was not a poignant thing. It was just kind of like she was like, we should like hang out, and he's like,
Yeah, sure.
I was just really
I'm
confused
Doom.
about how they
Yeah.
start off.
like,
Why not?
Avenger X. They're like, how did this get here?
Okay.
And then she busts out of the tomb, and they're all together in the same room, and then she somehow fights them one by one for the rest of the
apparently,
comic.
I think what happened is she threw a scatter bomb where they're like, we've all go different directions, like running
They just
over.
got
Like,
confused and left.
For our listeners, Austin has his hands out, wiggling his fingers like a epileptic zombie.
that's what happened in the issue. But no, I thought that was just kind of weird. But
I didn't like this issue at all, actually.
I really.
By the way, I caught up on Avengers. Didn't like it.
Also, I was like, fuck you. I'd rather your shitty book.
I mean, the last issue I loved with the
Doom?
little girls at the camp, and
Oh, fuck.
that was hilarious.
That
This issue sucked.
I was just talking about Spider-Man. Miles Morales is just becoming like this dark character. It's just like,
He'll get
What's
over
that
it.
supposed to mean?
you know what?
He's black Hispanic.
He's Blaxican.
All right, we are gonna edit this so much.
Actually, no. Isn't he Puerto Rican? Is his mom Puerto Rican?
Well, there's some Latina there because his name is Morales, but I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know
he's like
what
Sammy Sosa. He's Dominican.
I
Yeah,
all I
hit
can
the
say is that
baseball.
I really like.
Maybe
this
Miles
book.
Morales is like Sammy Sosa. I want to see that comic.
I like how
I hit ball, yes.
he's
I hit
brought,
finger.
Bendis has brought his character from Uncanny X-Men Gold Balls over. Like Gold Balls
Oh, I
doesn't work in
remember
any
that,
book
yeah.
except this book.
Gold balls.
So
He is also gay, but it's okay because it's not a deal.
Like,
he
they
doesn't
kinda
walk
talk
around
about
You see
announcing
him
it with
and
the
you just
megaphone.
know. Okay, yeah.
my final thing for issues I want to talk about is my favorite is Iron Fist number 4. This book is just like, what if we just did a good job?
I was like,
Well, that's
like,
a
let's pitch that. You should just like make
Oh,
a
that's
book.
a concept right there.
it's seriously like we just continued the Brubaker. Like it never ended. Like
Yeah.
we just picked it right up.
We've got, and the best part is we're throwing so many new characters at you.
Yep.
And you're not quite. There's not a point where I have to flip back because everyone is so strong. Like I know them when I read them the first time. I say, okay, I get that, and go over, and it's tying into. It's just such a good book, and the art's really well done.
Yeah.
We're not. And it's not. I hate talking about. Here it comes, my line. Being masturbatorial over these fucking issues, but like, it's not just because it is my favorite character. It's actually one of the most powerful books. Like,
It's the
right
best
now.
thing I'm reading right now. Period.
The
And
best
that's
thing
including
coming out of
Batman and
Marvel.
Superman.
Yeah, well, Superman and Batman books are really good right now, but
I think it's better than them.
it's
A lot of
because
DC is
it's
good
so
right now.
strong on itself. You don't have to read 17 issues.
Yeah.
You can just like
They stand on its own. You can just jump in and
yeah,
know what's going on.
and
Those books are always good.
it's consistent on art too, and so I don't know. It's just it's a good. This cat is also Ed Breeson is also doing the Bullseye book right now, which I read that. I've read 2 issues of it. I guess I'm not a Bullseye fan. I don't like reading about him just murdering people.
Aren't they trying to get like a Kingpin vibe from that sort of? Since Kingpin had done well.
Yeah, no. What? It's the whole devil thing, right? If you're into like what's about to start is Defenders, you you kind of have to have a basis. You need to be reading Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, on top of Kingpin, Elektra, and then Punisher and Bullseye.
Punisher has not connected to this at all.
That's where they're leading right now. To meet up with Punisher.
They said that in the other comics?
No,
because I just finished, like, I'm up to date on Punisher, so nothing has happened.
I didn't recognize this until I just looked up all the variants of Defenders, and Punisher's in 2 of them. In the background. So it might just be that they're trying to tie the shows in. So I don't know.
Because Punisher, the whole Punisher thing so far has just been this. I think it's called EDA or EDM. It's this drug.
Electronic dance music.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But these guys shoot it up, and then their eyes turn red, and they're really strong. They don't care about.
Where's it take
getting
place
hurt.
at?
It's like extremist kind of. It seems like, or
Well, it's so what they first of all they redid Punisher's backstory. He wasn't in Nam. He
What?
was in
like some.
he was in the Middle East somewhere, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Yeah, they
Like I think it was like they always update it.
Yeah, they all every time a war comes around, they always update.
Yeah, he's in the most recent war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of his buddies from his unit is working with a bunch of mercenaries now, and they've decided that getting paid to do mercenary work isn't good enough, so they're going to deal drugs, but not any old drugs that make you crazy. And
Oh yeah, I did read a little bit of that. I knew it from the past issues, but
it hasn't been great. I'll be honest, and I like the Punisher, and it hasn't been great, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Punisher.
No way.
Hi Austin, he's back.
But they came across all that, so Punisher against drug dealers. All that. But they've been doing
I've never seen that one.
They've been doing the superhero against drug dealers.
He's being sarcastic, I think.
Who knows
That's all Punisher does.
how crazy these is. I mean, even if I hate to mention the recent Ghost Rider, his first arc, up against a person who's trying to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, who's basically selling his formula as a drug.
It's yeah. They always have to hype the.
Hide!
Yeah, so,
They do drugs. They're bad people.
Were you just doing a Page Master impression?
I did, yeah.
Mr. Hyde!
That's exactly what I did.
Why are we
Thank
not
you.
writing a Page Master comic right
Because
now?
Leonard Nimoy's not alive to do it anymore.
I don't think he'd be involved in the comic.
What did he do with the comic?
But all right,
All right,
so
we need to wrap this up.
I say you want to wrap.
Can I
A
talk
wrap?
about something?
I wanna hear
Leif
something.
opened the door with video games. You guys see E3's going on.
Spider-Man!
Spider-Man!
How's it look? I saw the trailer. I mean, I didn't watch the trailer.
It's very reminiscent of the Amazing Spider-Man games.
It looks good.
It has that God of War feel where they're the ones that start as a cinematic is going on. You hit a button.
It's got Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Hold on now.
I think is it Josh Keaton doing the voice again?
I have no
He
idea.
was a really good Spider-Man. He was doing Spectacular Spider-Man.
Is it the? Is this a continuation of another video game?
This is something completely new they're making.
So it has nothing to do with Tom
It's
Holland
called,
or whatever.
No, it just says Marvel's Spider-Man is what it's called. It's supposed to be a PS4
Is it
exclusive.
Peter?
Yes, Peter.
Yeah,
But-
that's the interesting thing for all you video game nerds out there. This is a PS4 exclusive, and it's not a timed exclusive. So this is
What does
only
that mean?
because Sony owns Spider-Man. This is only coming out for PlayStation 4. It will not come out on PC. And it will not come out on Xbox.
Something
period.
that you'll like.
well, then I have a question though about that. Is it going to be PS4 alone, or is it going to be PS4 VR?
I don't know about that. I don't think it has VR.
I think it's just going to be PS4 on its own, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made a VR like maybe DLC or like a standalone game for it, like they did with Arkham. Something that you'll like at the very end of the launch trailer, Miles Morales is in there. I don't know if
good.
he's going to get to be Spider-Man himself, but they just have like a little thing where they're like, "Oh, come on, Miles, let's go!" And it's
Well, did you guys see the? I don't know if you read the solicits for like a couple months ahead. They've got this new series coming out called Spider-Man. Did you see that?
No.
no.
They're trying to figure out there's another Spider-Man that comes up. and Miles has to figure
Kane. It's Kane. It's
It
Kane.
most likely is.
Yeah.
Sweet, I like
hold on.
Kane.
Did you read? Okay, because I don't read it. Did anyone before you end this? I just want to ask. Did anyone read Ben Riley?
I read a little bit of it, yeah.
Okay, because what issue? Issue 3 now.
This would be the third one, yeah.
I just curious if it got any better.
I didn't read it. I didn't even know it came out.
Is it actually
It might
Ben
be
Riley,
this-
or does this focus on Kane still?
It still kind of focuses on Kane a little bit, but it is starting to build up more towards.
So it's shooting for something.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll probably pick up the trade where I can read like 6 issues. Of it.
Maybe if it starts making sense, I could recommend that to somebody, but it hasn't made a lot of sense yet.
What's your favorite Spider book?
Huh?
Right now.
My favorite Spider book right now? I
That's-
don't read anything right now.
That's our question for you guys too. What is your favorite Spider book?
Yeah, right.
Big-
Tell us.
They've got because I mean
The big book with spiders.
Spider-Man Deadpool has been
Spiders
going
are
on for
scary.
like 17 issues, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Deadpool-
approaching
it's
Well,
like the
twenty.
most
it's
consistent
a
book.
popular series. People love it.
Yeah, and now that you brought that up, I actually have a Spider-Man Deadpool comic that I find one of the weirdest things. Not only does he basically take Spider-Man and a few others, including that wacky slapstick character, on this mission to basically invade a Latveria.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I just want to double check. what you
Latveria,
said.
as in Doctor Doom Latveria.
Yes!
Deadpool, Slapstick, and Peter Parker go to
Wacky.
Latveria.
And a couple other superheroes.
Okay, I need to read this issue as soon as possible.
And I'll let you borrow it sometime. But anyway, here he goes there. He basically gets them all to basically beat through all these guys. He gets to this to basically I think Electro. They beat up Electro. They fulfill the mission. I mean, it's not like they go there just for Doom, which would have been the obvious choice, but they go there for Electro. Then they beat him down. Then they go back, and he takes Peter with him. You know, Deadpool just takes Peter with him, and then he goes and he introduces Peter Parker to his daughter. Deadpool's little daughter.
Wait, Deadpool's his daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a daughter, a
Yeah.
little girl daughter.
Ellen Camacho, is that her name?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And
It-
then,
it was one of the Secret Origin things.
and then he just basically, and then she basically says, "Oh, I know him. He's Peter Parker." All this Ares in his costume and all that. And
Oh, I mean, Original
and
Sin.
she basically just starts talking to as if she's a big fan of Spider-Man and all that. And
This sounds
secrets.
awesome.
And then she knows all the secrets of Spider-Man, and he's like, "Wait, hey, who's told you all this?"
They did something like that too in Spider-Man the Animated Series. They had an episode that they had like a little girl.
I read this is random. I thought you'd like this. The other day I read a Deadpool Spider-Man. I think it was like issue 6, and they had they like did whatever their like he said your mission was, and then they went to go to the movies and they watched Nighthawk versus Hyperion, Yawn of Justice.
Yeah, it said you won't believe. Evan actually talked about this earlier. It said you won't believe both their parents have the same name or something.
Yeah.
And it was like,
What I it's fucking genius.
yeah.
I laughed at that, but all right, we talked enough this week.
Well, since we have Leif here, sometimes what we do is we do like a little pitch for like a comic book or something. Leif, do you have anything that you think would be really good to pitch this week?
I would say the latest like Austin says the latest Iron Fist comic. I mean, if not the latest Iron Fist comic, start getting every Iron Fist comic of the latest arc and just all the way up to the latest one, and keep on getting this arc because this arc is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Reason knows what he's doing.
Okay. Awesome.
Next week, Evan and I got Nick already saw it, so he was a little advanced on us, and he kind of talked about it last week. Evan and I saw it, Wonder Woman, and we've got a lot to talk about it, but
definitely.
we won't discuss it this week. I almost feel like we might need an entire
I
episode.
think we should do a Wonder Woman episode.
I was gonna say, yeah.
There's enough to talk about personally for me.
Next week though is pretty exciting. We got the Looney Tunes crossovers coming up.
Yep.
I cannot. Bugs Bunny
and
Legion
Legion
of Superheroes.
yeah. And we
so
also get
stoked.
Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian too.
And also
that's gonna
Nice.
be.
and,
Tasmanian Devil Wonder Woman.
Oh my god,
but that's not
Elmer
next week,
Fudd
though,
Batman.
sadly.
that's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, they're doing it. I thought they were going to do them at the same release date, but there's different.
Yeah, they're all scattered.
Yeah, I talked to somebody at in Springfield the other day because I was taking a client up there, and I don't know if this is true or not, but there was one of those comic book nerds up there like we are, and he was talking about how Elmer Fudd apparently has some kind of obsession with Bruce Wayne or something. Is what the solicitation
that's
is.
cool.
I don't know if that's actually what it is or not.
Well, I mean,
but
I follow
but
that.
I just like to think I have this picture in my mind of Batman's shadow and Elmer Fudd just in an alley going, like all echoing and like reverberated.
I think this is.
What do you want with
I
Bruce
feel
Wayne?
like this is not. What? This is just a great idea. I'm so glad they've done this. Like I'm so super stoked
And
about it.
now are these one shots or are they like a
Sadly, yeah.
okay, all right, that's fine.
But I mean, if I don't know, I guess I maybe would tip my hat to Flintstones for like they knocked out a great two trades sort of thing.
Well,
like that's what they accomplished.
And they've gotten such good reception, so they'll probably make more.
We'll see, and it's just I just think the Hanna-Barbera verse should just keep growing if we can keep this up. But yeah, no, good week. I gotta say I was very entertained this week. And next week we've got so much more. I gotta say the truth. Besides the Looney Tunes stuff, I'm excited to see where Suicide Squad goes with Zog. Like that's where my mind is at this week. And
Well, to somewhere else. I think Zod's
Yeah.
gone.
I was gonna say DC keeps you going. I mean, there's only like a handful of ones that don't really matter in there. I also saw that in Mother Panic they're gonna eventually start getting Batman in there. I saw some comic.
they've
And
been
that looks
hinting
good
at it. Yeah,
because I think that'd be a great
Young
character.
Animal, like I didn't talk about it on the podcast, but Shade this week was a really, really good issue. I'm the only one that reads Gerard Way's Young Animal imprint. And,
I thumbed through it. I didn't.
it's just
committed
it's
to memory.
definitely not like Evan and I kind of talked about it before.
It's edgy and try hard, and I don't like it.
And I get it, definitely. And
It's like one of those ones that's trying too hard to be edgy, or is it just?
Yeah, well, it's trying really
It's
hard to be
very
hip and young
artsy
and different and artsy.
and
And if it is those things, cool, but also make it good, not bad.
it's we grew up on Vertigo comics, so you're gonna have to. There's a wall you got to break down with us.
Yeah.
Like, we know what edgy looks like. We've seen it before. I mean, you still go read Preacher or Hellblazer, and they still have like
It's ridiculous.
A darkness to
I
them
thumbed
that-
through a trade of Preacher the other day, and it was like, damn, this is rough.
Yeah, no, it's still.
Like, it is-
that still resonates, and so when you try to break a new ground, it's very difficult because DC's got such a lush background. All right, let's end this motherfucker, and next week we got so much more to talk about. We might do a mini over Wonder Woman.
I
feel
think we
it's-
should.
it's
Yeah, that'd be good.
worthwhile. So, all right, I'm Austin. I'm done.
I'm Evan, and I guess we're signing off now. That's the new thing. We're signing off the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm Nick, and I still want to talk, but they say I can't.
got bedtimes, motherfucker.
I'm Leif, and this was fun, but we'll see you next week.
I'm Justin. I'm a little tipsy, so I'll see you next week.
If you drive something safe.
See you next week. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.